Now on 4. If you thought bamboo was of use solely to gardeners and pandas, think again.
One 1,000 years ago, there was a poet in Song Dynasty whose name was Su Dongpo. He appreciated bamboo a great deal and wrote a poem which says, "I prefer to eat without meat than live without bamboo. Without meat, we become thin, but without bamboo, we lose serenity and culture itself."
It has been a mainstay of China's culture and technology for thousands of years, but it has never been as widely used as it is today. Bamboo was the inspiration for the design of some of China's most famous inventions, including the sailing junk. In a hurricane, steel scaffolding collapses. Bamboo doesn't. Today, bamboo is preferred to steel for scaffolding, even in the towering skyscrapers of high-technology Hong Kong. By the year 2000, Hong Kong will be part of the People's Republic of China, which aims by then to be one of the 3 most powerful industrial nations in the world. Today, bamboo is booming as never before, an important material in China's latest revolution. Bamboo is a mysterious plant. It's stronger in many ways than wood, but scientists can't agree as to whether bamboo is a grass, a cereal, or a unique botanical family all of its own. There are over 1,000 different species of bamboo, some as small as field grass, some 120 feet tall. Every 60 to 120 years, each family of bamboo flowers, bears fruit, then dies, wherever in the world it may be growing. 10 years later, it grows again as healthy as it ever was. Why it dies off is one of nature's unsolved riddles, and the results can be disastrous. In the early 1980s, 2 common species of bamboo died out in the same year and nearly exterminated the giant pandas which depend on bamboo for their food. Painting bamboo is the supreme test of the skill of a Chinese artist. The artist must make his stroke upwards in the direction in which the plant grows, from roots and stem to leaf tips. Calligraphy is the mother of arts. The flow of the bamboo brush must be made without hesitation or revision. China has dozens of different spoken dialects, most of them incomprehensible to people in other regions. The result could be a divided nation. Calligraphy is the same throughout the country and binds China and its history together. Chinese gardens were designed by painters, and bamboo groves were seen as special places. In them, poets and composers created literature and music. Philosophers discussed the nature of life. The grove was a retreat for meditation and the contemplation of nature. It is also, incidentally, the safest place to be in an earthquake. The Chinese were once the greatest sailors in the world. They sailed beyond the Cape of Africa and probably to Australia. Their junks were more safely built than Western craft because they were divided into separate compartments or bulkheads, which stopped water flooding the hull if one section was damaged. The design was inspired by the divisions inside the bamboo stalk, or culm, which helped give bamboo its strength. The bulkhead principle wasn't used in Europe until the 18th century. The Chinese also sewed bamboo battens into the sails to hold them taut even when they were old or torn. The junk was one of the world's most efficient sailing machines, a graphic example of China's ability to make the best use of natural materials. The designers contemplated the form of bamboo and imitated its strengths. Take out the internal divisions, and bamboo is a perfect natural tube. 2,000 years ago, when no other culture had access to bamboo, the Chinese exploited this natural property to irrigate their fields. Although China is vast, only 15% of the country can easily be cultivated, and that land must feed the world's largest population. This landscape is the product of centuries of technical skill and intense labor. The paddy fields are flooded in the winter so that they'll be moist in the spring. Terraces prevent the water eroding the soil. In the winter months, farmers buy tiny fish and farm them in the paddy fields. In the spring, they sell the fish and plant the rice crop. In one generation, the production of bamboo has doubled, and its uses have multiplied, thanks very largely to this man.
因为竹子是非常有用的，这样一个竹种。
Bamboo is one of the most useful plants known to man, and more than half of the world's population use it on a daily basis. It's particularly important in the developing countries and countries that depend on bamboo production.
Bamboo can survive extremes of drought and rainfall, and can thrive from sea level to 13,000 feet. It grows faster than any other plant on Earth, as much as 4 feet in 24 hours. The new shoot comes out of the ground with the culm already as wide as it will be when fully grown. It will be fully grown in 8 to 12 weeks. It is also very strong, forcing its way through rocky soil or cracks in the concrete. From generation to generation, China's farmers have learned how to harvest bamboo and how to take advantage of its many strengths. It is the skill and experience of these farmers which have inspired the work of Professor Xiong Wenyue. Born under the last emperor, he has lived under communism, yet studied in America and lectured in the West. Xiong has built here in Nanjing the world's leading bamboo research center.
我们研究竹子是从中介群众经验。
We began our research by studying the farmers' experience because they have developed their own traditional techniques. They have acquired a great deal of expertise and know-how, and they know where production problems exist. We investigated and studied and summed up their experience and analyzed the results.
The farmers knew from experience that if the tip of the bamboo culm is cut off in its year, the culm will remain straighter and sell for more. When the Nanjing team investigated this, it discovered that pruning also encouraged the roots to grow, and that in turn increased the number of shoots the following year.
这是产生出了地下系统。这个地下系统
This is the underground root system. It consists of the rhizome, a long and fast-growing shoot with its own root system. The bamboo rhizome spreads underground very rapidly.
到30公分的范围。那么每一个基质呢，竹边上面都长成了大。
Each node of the rhizome produces large quantities of roots, and it's this combination of the rhizome and these roots which holds the soil firmly, conserving humidity and preventing soil loss. Wherever there's a bamboo grove, there won't be any soil erosion, so people plant bamboo on hillsides and riverbanks. The rhizomes and root network grow very fast. The rhizome can reach a depth of 3 to 4 meters, depending on the fertility and composition of the soil.
底下密集的网络，从而发挥了这水土保持作用。
This dense network of roots can overcrowd the bamboo grove. Low density, however, can produce too few shoots. The Nanjing team is experimenting with different densities to establish the level at which bamboo grows best.
在这里面，我们发现呢，
During these experiments, we have found that 6,000 to 8,000 columns per hectare is the most desirable density. So we recommend to farmers that we have no less than 5,000 to 6,000 columns per hectare.
The main thrust of Xiong's work has been to increase the yield of China's hard-pressed land. His team has made great steps in dual cropping, producing 2 different crops at the same time from one piece of land. The microclimate inside the bamboo grove changes from shady and temperate in the summer to sheltered but relatively warm in the winter. The team has been testing different varieties of mushrooms among the bamboos. Growing methods are kept low-tech, using growing media which are easily available. This is ground sugarcane residue. Plastic bags are filled with the mushroom spores, and the stoppers are sterilized over a flame. The Nanjing team holds training seminars up and down the country to teach farmers the techniques it has developed. The scheme is an enterprising way to earn money for the farmers and foreign currency for China. Some species of mushroom sell for $200 a kilo in America. Professor Xiong prefers traditional, appropriate techniques because new methods have usually proved wasteful in China. For 30 years, Xiong has worked with Professor Zhu, who has now taken over from him as head of the bamboo department at Nanjing.
There are 24 experimental stations like this in China in 10 different provinces. In each of these stations, there are professional staff taking regular records. We have collected over 4 million pieces of data, and we have set up a mathematical model to direct bamboo production.
31.5 31.5
It's a study of the theory of bamboo forest structure. Our work has been very satisfactory, not only to us, but to more than 200 experts abroad in over 30 countries, to whom the work has also been very helpful.
In this mathematical model, the bamboo grove is treated as a factory. The sun provides energy, the raw materials are water, carbon dioxide and minerals, while the end product is bamboo. Nothing which can't be found locally is added to the equation because the farmers couldn't afford it. This bamboo grove is the most productive in China. The university's techniques have produced an annual yield of 40 tons a hectare.
这就是说明毛竹的生产大有潜力可挖。
This shows that bamboo has great potential. If the effective measures that we have taken here are done to the other groves, then we are bound to get much higher production.
Young bamboo shoots can be eaten. They're harvested in April or May. They are nutritious and high in fiber. It takes about 4 years before the culms have lost enough moisture to be ready to be cut down and shipped. The branches are cut off and used as domestic fuel, or made into brushes or brooms in the farmer's spare time. The leaves are left as compost to improve the fertility of the soil. The Nanjing program underpins China's new open policy. Under the Cultural Revolution, farmers had no incentive to improve yields. The population grew, but output didn't. The result was a tremendous strain on China's dwindling forests, which were mercilessly cut down to fuel, house, and furnish the nation. Today, the state still sets quotas for the farmers, but once farmers have met those quotas, they are encouraged to grow extra crops and sell them. The open policy has brought bamboo into the mainstream of China's economy. More of it is grown than ever before, to be used both as a substitute for the dwindling timber supplies and in 1,000 products suited to its remarkable strengths. The country's traditional arteries, the oldest and longest canal network in the world, carry ever larger quantities of the ancient material, which is now fueling an astonishing economic revival. Today, everyone seems to be growing and selling bamboo. The farmer with his plantations, the householder with a few culms growing in his garden. And the products they make with bamboo are as varied as the strengths and qualities of this remarkable plant. Bamboo is easy to split, and it can be worked into 1,000 different products. Bamboo has unusual strength when it bends. China's fishermen have taken advantage of its bending strength for thousands of years. Bamboo bears many resemblances to today's wonder materials, fiberglass and carbon fiber. Their strength-to-weight ratio is due to a construction almost identical to bamboo. Like the plant, the man-made fibers are embedded in a matrix which holds them in bundles. Bamboo has an advantage over other materials in that its fibers are densely packed on the outside of the culm, giving it strength, while inside the fibers are further apart, allowing the bamboo to bend freely. Carbon fiber is popular in today's aerospace industry. Bamboo made its first appearance in an aeroplane as long ago as 1907. At Nanjing, Professor Xiong and his team have conducted the first ever systematic analysis of the strength of bamboo. Its tensile strength is 2,000 kilos to the square centimetre, twice that of timber. Its compressive strength is 10% higher than that of timber. Its bending strength is 1,500 kilos per square centimetre.
Of course, bamboo does have some weaknesses. For example, it has a weak cutting resistance, which is only a quarter of its tensile strength, so bamboo can be easily split. But this is also a strong point, because it's so easy to split, it's perfectly adapted for weaving, and weaving is an exploitation of one of bamboo's properties.
Bamboo fibers are still used in the making of rope, stronger by far than hemp. China's early engineers took full advantage of this strength, especially in suspension bridges. The simplest comprised of a single rope. The intrepid traveller grasped a bamboo tube to protect his hands, and gravity did the rest. The Anlan Bridge over the Min River was China's best-known suspension bridge. The original bridge here was built with bamboo ropes as early as the 3rd century BC. It was about 250 yards long, and its bamboo cables rested on 9 intermediate timber supports. At either end, huge capstans kept the cables taut. The black bag on top of the bus contains the natural gas, which it uses for fuel. The gas is drilled locally and has been for 2,000 years. Bamboo made it possible. They had to drill through up to 5,000 feet of soil and rock to reach the natural gas and salt brine. An iron bit was suspended by a bamboo rope and dropped repeatedly on the rock below. Bamboo rope can take stresses of up to 26,000 pounds per square inch, 3 times that of hemp rope, and equal to some steel cables. Silica on the outer surface of bamboo helps it resist friction. The brine was brought to the surface in a bamboo tube-shaped bucket by means of a pulley and windlass powered by oxen. The shaft was an ingenious hollow bamboo stalk with an automatic valve letting the brine into the bucket, but not out. They used some of the gas to heat and prepare the salt brine, then both were piped to their destinations. Bamboo provided bow and arrow for the archers of China, and in the 12th century, gunpowder, invented by the Chinese, was used in guns with bamboo barrels. This giant irrigation scheme in Sichuan was designed some 2,200 years ago by a father and son team to divert and control the Min River. It protected the Chengdu Plain from flooding and irrigated it. To reinforce the dams and banks, they wrapped stones in loosely woven baskets of bamboo. To this day, these bamboo gambions form a perfect shock-absorbent barrier. They are easy to handle and need no foundations. Many of China's ancient inventions are still appropriate today. Inside this small building, another of China's great contributions to civilization is still manufactured in much the same manner as when it was first invented. Paper was invented in China in the 2nd century before Christ, 1,400 years before Europe learned how to make it. The pulp is mixed with water in a large vat. Each sheet is made by dipping a screen, like a sieve, into the water fibre mixture. A thin film of fibres is caught on the screen. They're left in a pile to drain. When they're dry, the matted fibres are permanently interlocked. There's a paper shortage in China today. Because both timber and energy are scarce, while man and ox power are plentiful, Mr. Li is able to make paper by ancient methods and yet sell it at the same price as the modern product. He sells as much as he can make and is expanding his factory.
This is to clear up the lungs, to dissolve sputum and stop coughing. This is zhu huang for tranquilizing and dissolving sputum and clearing up the heart. This is to clear the lungs and open up the main and collateral arteries. This is ren yue, which is particularly good for getting rid of tapeworms and other parasites in man's intestines. This Chinese medicine have been proved by clinical tests and scientific analysis to be very effective.
All derived from bamboo, and all as popular today as they ever were. Hospitals have their departments of herbal medicine, where ancient remedies like this one are used alongside more modern medicines. This is Chongqing County in Sichuan. It's a bustling market town with any number of goods on sale. Markets like this are held twice a week in every small town, so farmers can go to a similar market within their area every day until they've sold their wares. Today, once the farmer has met the quotas established by the government, he is free to sell any surplus crops on the open market and to use any spare time he may have to make other goods which can also be sold. It's a policy wholeheartedly endorsed by the Western-educated Professor Xiong.
Chongqing County is my hometown. Bamboo grows over a large area here and is the major resource. In small villages, it shades and protects the farmer's home. The larger reserve provide the main resource for traditional products such as basket making and weaving. Since the government carried out the open policy, farmers have had much more freedom. They can choose their own agricultural methods, select crops they want to grow, and sell their own products at market. Consequently, they are much more enthusiastic. Besides farming, they have taken up sideline production, particularly of bamboo products. They weave baskets in the slack season and sell them at local markets or even further afield, and get a huge increase in income. And this income is derived from all kinds of bamboo sideline production.
In the past, say 8 or 9 years ago, bamboo weaving was not allowed. If you went in for sideline production or secondary production, that was said to be the tail of capitalism. Since open policy, farmers have been much richer. In the past, we worked in production teams. We worked collectively every day. Now the land has been distributed to individuals. Thus, except in the busy season, I stay at home like this every day. We have got 2 months busy season, and for the rest of the year, I stay at home and make bamboo baskets.
The rural economy has changed a great deal since the government introduced open policy, and bamboo production is no exception. It has developed gradually from manual production to semi-mechanized and mechanized production, from family production to market production, from local promotion and marketing to other areas of the country, and from traditional products to modern products.
The Nanjing team is playing its part in this mini-industrial revolution, promoting developments like this factory for canning bamboo shoots. It was set up in 1984. Its financial backers were local farmers.
There were in all 64 shares, each share costing 2,000 yuan.
Where do we export your products to?
We export them to Japan and other countries.
Do you also sell in the domestic market?
Yes, we do.
What's the annual production?
Where the yield has been 600 tons in 1984, 700 tons in 1985, and 1,200 tons last year. We will try to get to 1,200 tons again this year.
Bamboo shoots sell well abroad, and foreign exchange is vital to China's economy. Most of the output is exported to Japan, where the bamboo shoots are reprocessed and repackaged. The farmer shareholders are understandably upset that their factory isn't yet sufficiently sophisticated to satisfy the market. They hope soon to be able to buy the necessary machinery to cut out the Japanese middlemen and export the shoots straight to the foreign markets. As the population of China has grown to over 1 billion people, so the pressure on its timber forests has grown. New roads expose the banks to wind and water. The pace of development today leaves no time for terracing. Erosion has become a major threat. Bamboo plays its part. Its tightly knit root structure helps retain the vulnerable soil. It is planted on the hillsides and along the riverbanks, like this one. It plays an even more important part as a substitute for timber in the manufacture of such products as paper. This factory in Abin mass-produces paper from both wood and bamboo, and it's a scene centuries removed from the ox-driven paper factory in Sichuan. The farmers who deliver their bamboo can be richer than the factory managers or university professors. That's because the factory, encouraged by the open policy, is expanding its output and rapidly increasing the amount of bamboo it uses. The government has fixed the quota of timber it is allowed to use each year, and the only way to produce more paper is to increase the ratio of bamboo to timber. The price of culms has doubled in the past year, and the factory is now trying to buy up land on which it can grow its own. One of the ways in which bamboo is helping to conserve the forests of China.
Since 1955, the cultivated area of bamboo in China has doubled. This is mainly due to government support. The government offers interest-free loans and even grants to encourage the planting of bamboo.
The World Bank has also recognized the importance of bamboo as a substitute for timber. It has granted a development loan to this factory, which compresses bamboo mats into rigid boards and then coats them with a timber veneer. The result is as tough as any wood. The bamboo is delivered by the farmers already woven into mats. Farmers can often only work half the year on the land, so there's plenty of opportunity for this kind of sideline activity.
What do you do with the mats? Well, when we collect them, they are very damp, so we have to dry them and remove the dust. Then they need to be pressed flat. Where does this machine come from? It comes from China. Suzhou Farm Machinery Factory made it. The machinery in the factory consists of two parts. One part is imported, like this high-quality planer, which came from Japan. And the rest we try to buy from China. Because the surface of the bamboo board is rough, we can add the timber veneer. Thus the characteristics of timber and bamboo are combined, and we get a very good quality product. Thick quality boards can be used as workshop flooring and building materials. As to the thick board without the timber facing, this can be used as roof support in mines and for furniture making, and for purposes such as interior decoration, vehicle making, and shipbuilding. Since our forest reserves have decreased, the government tries very hard to replace timber with bamboo.
Thanks to another World Bank loan, the board factory now plans to double its size. There are hundreds of stories of similar enterprise. This is a nation in a hurry to develop. But China's headlong progress has its price. The scum from the paper factory is allowed to run freely into the Yangtze River, where it mingles with the effluent from other factories, all of them built with scant regard for the environment. Every new bride has the right to demand a new house and new furniture. She will want it to look contemporary. There is a boom in the demand for modern furniture, and bamboo is extensively used but not seen.
这就是毛竹，在本地啊叫兰竹，
This is small bamboo. With the rotary cutting techniques, we can obtain a bamboo veneer which can be used to face timber furniture. When it is glued, sanded, and varnished, it becomes a very attractive natural finish.
This bamboo veneer doesn't look like bamboo. The natural stripes caused by bamboo's nodes are skillfully incorporated in the zigzag pattern. The factory started with 3 men in a shed and now employs hundreds of people, and it's worth millions of yuan.
With the economic reform, people's living standards are improving, and the grade of furniture they are demanding is increasing. So there is a high demand for good furniture, and so our factory's future is very optimistic.
在当前，中国还是一个发展中的国家。
At present, China remains a developing country. It's impossible to use every advanced means in our scientific research. And it's also impossible for us to own every advanced means. So, what should we do? We adopt the idea of walking on 2 legs. This is a Chinese expression for making full use of the advanced means we have now. And in the meantime, if we don't have these means, to employ the available ones. We think man creates means. If we have clear targets and set out to solve certain problems, we can make a continuous effort for improvement and increase our research level. Then we will surely achieve our aims.
我们一定可以达到的。
Bamboo is now well established as a material wholly appropriate to China's open policy. This is Bamboo Street in the prosperous southeast. It has grown from nowhere, and it's booming. Only the country folk who can't afford veneered modern furniture shop here. Heavy traffic on the nearby main road between Hangzhou and Nanjing brings in the custom. Husbands and wives come down from the provinces to find work, leaving school-aged children for grandparents to look after. Professor Xu is an element. He has now retired from full-time work at Nanjing University. Open policy makes it possible for him to accept invitations from the West to address conferences and write up his life's work in scientific journals. A skilled ladder maker can make 10 bamboo ladders a day. A chair maker can make 7 or 8 small chairs. New workshops spring up daily. Some time after bamboo plants flower and die away, new shoots grow from the roots. In today's China, Bamboo is flourishing as never before.